Well, guys, it has finally happened. COVID-19 has struck again. Here's what you need to know. Hey guys, this is Maurice from Cruise a Couple. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. We love to have you consider subscribing. Hit the like button and the notification bell so that way you don't miss any other future content. So guys, it has been confirmed by Governor Hogan, the governor of Maryland, that we now have our first 3 confirmed cases of COVID-19, aka coronavirus, aka the new plague. This is something that the state legislature has been preparing for weeks now, ever since this thing started spreading all over the country as far as the different cases popping up. This is something that they wanted to stress to Marylanders not to start panicking over. Some people, start doomsday prepping and things of that nature. So they rest assured that everything has been done with the Maryland personnel in mind, as well as safety, as well as occupational health as well. So according to the story at the press release just done by Governor Hogan and his team, is that there were 3 personnel here in Maryland that all traveled outside of the United States, came back relatively at the same time, if not on the same flight, in the same area there, that started experiencing symptoms. They came back sometime in late February. They called in and got the go-ahead to, of course, stay home, but then to meet at a undisclosed hospital and personal protective equipment, or PPE, in which the hospital staff had the same protective equipment on them as well. They gave their samples, they sent it off. Maryland can test for COVID-19 now, instead of having the specimens sent to Atlanta, Georgia, having them tested there and then of course sent back. So I think that's going to be a plus for every state in the country, that they are able to do their own testing. So with any type of testing or emergency response, you need funding. So Governor Hogan did mention that they passed a supplemental budget of $10 million to help combat and prepare the state for the upcoming widespread potential of COVID-19 being passed. They did ask personnel to make sure that if you're traveling outside of the country, even though they've got travel bans and things of that nature, or you come in contact with someone who's having these symptoms, to plan your day accordingly. Make sure that you know exactly where you went, what time you went, so that way if anything happens, you happen to contract anything, that way they can go ahead and contact those personnel and try to keep this thing under wraps. As I stated before, there's no immediate threat or anything in that nature as far as to Maryland personnel. So I know that they did mention for businesses to be prepared to close their doors, for mass gatherings to disperse or cancel. One of the things that came to my mind is the since retired Adjutant General of Maryland, Major General retired Linda Singh, who did great things for the state of Maryland in regards to the Baltimore riots, snowstorms, relief efforts, hurricane relief, the whole shebang. I definitely tip my hats off to General Singh. They had a Women of the World, or WOW convention coming up this Saturday. That has since been canceled, along with a few other mass area gatherings here in Maryland, in order to prevent any possibility of a widespread spreading of any type of symptoms of COVID-19 that may be around. They did mention if anyone is experiencing symptoms, or you think that you may have come in contact with a known case, that you do report it as soon as possible to get instruction. You keep yourself home. Hopefully you have things to last you for 2 weeks, or you have someone that can, bring that stuff to your doorstep, so that way you can keep yourself inside and not affect anyone else. Myself being a Maryland guardsman, especially on the full-time side of the house, this definitely hits close to home, because I've began thinking now ever since I heard the news of what if it is a mass panic. People are rushing stores or rioting to get cleaning supplies, Lysol, bleach, disinfectants, things of that nature. What if people start rioting, because the government didn't let them know in a timely manner? The Maryland Guard is going to have to respond to things like that. That's not something that I'm looking forward to. So I'm really hoping that everyone will kind of follow the guidelines that the leadership is giving. Also, one thing that I wanted to bring up as well is Baltimore has its own cruise port. It has its own cruise terminal. The Carnival Pride is there for Carnival. The Grandeur of the Seas is there for Royal Caribbean, and I believe that there's another ship that comes in and out of there as well. I just happen to never pass the port in enough time to actually see that one, but I know of those two as far as the Carnival Pride and the Grandeur of the Seas. And I'm wondering right now, how is that going to affect personnel who have upcoming travel on those cruise ships, getting ready to go to these different countries? I'd like to know if there's anyone watching this channel and you are going on that, or someone getting ready to go on one of those two ships, have they reached out to ask for a refund? I know a lot of companies, as well as cruise ships and destination places, are updating their cancellation policies because of people calling and canceling because of COVID-19. Maryland's cruise port gets a lot of traffic, a lot of personnel coming in and out. They have a stop at Port Canaveral. They go to Freeport, Nassau, Half Moon Cay, Perfect Day at Cocoa Cay. They go to a lot of different places. So I wonder, how is this gonna affect travel? I'm hoping not. I've come to like the Carnival Pride as far as there, but understandably, if people are thinking that someone's going to be sick, get on that cruise ship, they're going down to Chesapeake, getting ready to go, going south, that's going to become an issue to where, they've got Charleston to where they could pull in if they have an issue. They've got Port Canaveral, Jacksonville, so we've got plenty of ports up and down the East Coast. But this COVID-19 is going to be big. Now especially that it's here in Maryland, we've got 3 confirmed cases. I think we've tested for 31 or so. That may be Virginia's numbers. But I know we've had a lot of people tested and they've, come back negative. It's a good possibility, that, we're going to have more cases. It's just going to be the nature of things. So I'm hoping that, definite instructions, of course, washing your hands thoroughly, making sure that, you're, sanitized as far as at home. You're doing the things that you are supposed to be doing. And I think we should be, fine. I'm not by any means a health professional, so you guys can take this with a grain of salt. But if you are in Maryland, I just ask, stay tuned to the news. Just listen to the healthcare professionals. Just know that, they're not going to steer us in the wrong direction. The federal government, Vice President Pence is heading up the Federal Relief Act, if you want to call it that. So I know a lot of the governors are trying to get a plan of action on how everyone is tackling this, so everyone kind of has the same approach. I applaud Governor Hogan for going ahead and getting in front of this thing in reference to notifying the public, in reference to the cases, not trying to hold anything back or trying to figure out the best way to sugarcoat it. He let us know, and I do greatly appreciate that. So once again, guys, just bottom line, COVID-19 coronavirus is now in Maryland. It is confirmed, of 3 confirmed cases of personnel who traveled outside the country, came back, they've been tested in Maryland. Those tests have come back positive. So I'll keep you guys updated as more comes about. Thank you very much. Once again, if you will, make sure you hit that like button down there. Make sure if you're not subscribed, you definitely subscribe to stay notified of our updated content. And thank you so much for stopping by. This is Maurice with Cruising Couple, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.